Evening, everybody. Oh, lovely to see so many faces and to see familiar faces. Returning once more and new faces, which is always nice. And as I say at the beginning of the meeting, we seem to have this steady stream of new faces coming along, which is great and fantastic. But they don't always come back. I'm going to mix it up a bit this week, I've decided. I'm going to tweak the format, see how it works. It might not work, it might not fall apart, but, you know, given that I make it up as I go along anyway.
Well, this is true. You don't know what to expect.
Exactly.
Is that half the reason you come? Is it?
That's it. Well, it's mindfulness, it's being in the moment.
Nothing on the tennis, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, thank you. I'll give an alternative to the fact that you haven't got Sky. Okay, fine. All right. I'll best do a bit of an intro for our new visitors. So this is the Deal Mindfulness group. Welcome. And we cultivate and practice a bit of mindfulness. And if you don't know what mindfulness is, it's all about being in the present moment. So there is the past, and the past is gone. We can't change it, we can't do anything about it, we just let it go. We have the future, and the future hasn't happened yet. So there is no point in us spending time worrying about what might happen in the future, because it's irrelevant, because it hasn't happened. The only point in time that actually exists, this moment, right now. When we say, what time is it? As Carol was saying earlier, we go, it's now. That is the time. That is the only time. And so mindfulness is about developing that practice of being able to bring yourself to the present moment so that you can enjoy being alive. Because life is precious and it's to be enjoyed. Right. What we usually do is we have sort of two extended exercises that we do. One at the beginning, one at the end, and then in the middle I do a talky bit. I'm going to mix that up a bit, and we're going to do some. I think we'll do some shorter exercises dotted throughout the proceedings. We'll see how we get on. So let's begin. We'll begin with a little exercise, and then I'll do some more talking. Make it. So we'll start with a little sitting exercise. And you may close your eyes if you want to, or you can keep your eyes open. It is entirely up to you. But to begin, I'd like you to just become aware of your body, sitting on a seat. So be aware of your bottom pressing down into the seat. Gravity having an effect on it. Aware of gravity pulling down all the way through your spine, from your head down your spine through to your bottom. Aware of the effect of gravity on your shoulders. And as you become aware of gravity on your shoulders and the fact that you have shoulders, be aware of them just releasing out. Any tension that's in there, just be aware of that releasing out of the shoulders. Be aware that on top of the shoulders is a neck and a head. Become aware of the fact that you have arms and hands, and how those arms and hands are being held at this moment in time. Be aware of the weight of them. Again, the effect of gravity on the arms and the hands. Become aware of the fact that you have legs. Be aware of the position of the legs, how you're holding your legs. Become aware of the fact that at the end of your legs you have feet, and those feet unless you're very short or in contact with the ground. And then finally just become aware of your whole physical presence. Be aware that there is a part of your being that is a body, which is sitting, which has gravity having an effect on it, which has air passing over it. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Marvellous. So the topic that I randomly selected for this week is horrible people. Horrible people. Does anybody here know a horrible person?
I have one person.
You have one, you have two, you have three. Carol's scouring already.
Yes, I really lost it. Would you mind when we lost
Who
it?
is your horrible person?
Some in a car.
Some person in a car?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I pulled out my turn and he came past in yellow at me.
Right.
And I thought, a bit pointless really, because number one, I didn't hear what you said. And number two, I don't believe it.
Oh, what a horrible person.
But what's the point, you know? It's
Exactly.
really
Do you know,
Exactly.
I say that to Martha half when he's shouting at people. I'm going, I'm not hearing you, dear. It's only me. And the kids in the back.
Who else knows a horrible person? You know. Who's your... Tell us a little bit about the horrible person that you are aware of.
Well, it's a bit of, like...
Without divulging too much that we might know. So this is somebody from work.
Well,
Is this a Maxine Monkey Senior?
Yeah, a couple of months ago. The reason why I left work is horrible person, it's horrible experience, but that's what I'm saying.
Well, how would we categorise them? Were they a bit of a bully?
Bully.
They were a bully.
Bully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else said you said you knew a horrible person?
They're not totally horrible, they're more kind of judgmental, which is still horrible trait.
And is this a work person, a family member, a family member? Okay. Anybody else? Hannah, you said you went yes, I'm a horrible person.
Yeah, well, I think everybody has horrible aspects.
Well, yeah, there is that. There is that.
And maybe you don't appreciate their good side because you just focus on the bad.
And some have more than others.
Yeah.
Be horrible sometimes.
Well, maybe we all can. And who else? Did you know a horrible person?
Yeah, I try not to judge.
You
now.
try not to judge.
I try very
Good.
hard not to judge.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
do you know, I'm really proud he didn't put his hand up and go, Mama.
He was thinking it there. Okay. So, I think most of us have at some time or another had dealings with somebody or encountered somebody that would fall into the bracket of being a horrible person. And we've touched a bit on what makes them horrible. So somebody said judgmental. There was one somebody judgmental. It's horrible. We've had that bit of road rage. So we've had somebody that expresses anger, perhaps unjustly. What are the other traits of horrible people?
Bullying.
Bullying, that was the other one we had, didn't we? Yes.
Bullying.
Bullying. disloyal. Rudeness. I suppose horrible people tend to be pretty. We think of them as being pretty rude, don't we? Cruel.
Yeah, calm us all down. Now we've got to find all the
It's
numbers.
that, you know, this is like, it's like a Disney film where we have to, you know, it's not that. It's that. So I need to get you all a bit worked up first.
Yeah, that's working.
Okay, so
I personally hate people who backstab. You know,
Backstab.
talk behind your back. And,
Okay. Right, good. So we've got bullies, we've got angry, we've got judgmental, we've got backstabbing, we've got rude. Trying to think.
Selfish.
Pardon?
Selfish.
Selfish. That's a good one. Selfish. Okay.
Egotistical.
Egotistical. That's another one. Egotistical.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Oh, go for it.
Go on, how many more adjectives can we come up with here?
Good. Okay. So we've now painted the picture of the classic horrible person. And it's not. We've not created somebody particularly evil. You know, I'm reading Harry Potter to my daughter at the moment. But we haven't described Voldemort here.
He who must not be named.
Well, I can name him. We haven't described that. These are not evil traits. They're just unpleasant, aren't they? They're just, horrible.
What about abusive relationships? Is that evil?
Well, that could be. Yeah, maybe that's a topic for another week. Maybe we'll do evil next week. We'll start with horrible. Don't push me too hard. I'm making this up as I go along, Carol. Don't accelerate too quickly. We'll start with horrible. And we'll work our way up to evil. Jealous. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Good. So we've got a pretty good picture. Excellent. Right, before we go any further, let's do another little mindful exercise. You see what I'm doing now? See what I'm mixing this up and keeping it fresh? It's like a greatest hits remix. Right, which one should we do now? Okay. This one, we're going to bring a bit of movement in, a bit of mindful movement and a bit of breathing. So what I'd like you to do is we're just going to move the arms, and it's really just from the side. Spread them out. You can go wide, or you can just hover them slightly to the side. Take as much room as you need. Doesn't matter.
No need for that.
Try not to poke somebody's eye out. Don't be horrible. And again, you can close your eyes if you want to, or you can keep your eyes open. And all I'd like you to do, maybe just watch me is just breathe in and bring the arms up until the fingers and the hands come together, and then breathe out and just bring them back down again. And just do that basically. So breathe in, bring the arms up and together, and breathe out, and let them come down. And just be aware, feel the movement. Just become aware of that movement. Breathing in, bringing the hands together, and be aware of the fingers and the palms touching, if that's how you're bringing them together. And then breathe out and drop them down. And just feel that movement. Be aware of the movement of your arms, aware of the movement in your shoulders, what it feels like when the fingers touch. Just be aware of the movement within your chest as well as you breathe. So that combination of moving the arms and moving the chest, and just following that movement in and out as it happens. And as you continue to do that again, become aware of if it becomes uncomfortable. Be aware of how you have to adjust the movement, maybe, over time. Good. And when you're ready, you can stop. You can open your eyes.
Sorry, Jim, I can't see you doing that in the car when somebody shouts at me.
You'll be like that. Delete that off the camera. Church. Okay. Back to the horrible people. The horrible people. We all encounter them. And I suppose when people start to, because obviously I've got to bring this around to talk about mindfulness. That's the whole point of it. Eventually I'll bring it to a mindful element, a mindful conclusion. And I suppose we all know, what do we think we should do when we encounter that horrible person? Let it go. Let it go. In what sense? How do we, if they're there, in your face, being horrible, being judgmental, being a bully, being egotistical, being rude. Is it easy? When they're there, being horrible?
It's an art form.
It is an art form.
It takes a lot of practice and a lot of years to get to it.
To be able to let it go.
Yeah.
To not react. Excellent. Because that's something that we've spoken about before. In terms of mindfulness, the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is not mindful. Reacting is when the emotion kicks in, when the ego kicks in. Responding is when we are mindful. Because when we are mindful, when we are in the moment, we can assess the situation and respond accordingly. And that takes practice, yes. That takes practice. Okay, one more little exercise before I talk anymore. Now, I would like you to close your eyes for this one. And most of you know this, we've done this before. And I'd like you to just listen. So close your eyes and begin to listen. And just be aware of sound as it happens. And if your mind wanders, thoughts and ideas pop into your head, that's okay. It's what brains do. Just take your awareness back to listening to the sound as it happens, moment by moment. Good. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now these horrible people that we know we shouldn't react to, we should be mindful when in their presence so that we can respond appropriately to their disgusting behaviour. These horrible people, the people that we know, that we've met, the people that came to mind when I first asked you the question, they always horrible, all of the time, without fail, absolutely horrible, just blanket, are they? Was that a yes? They were just, yes, they were always right. Okay. What about the person that you know? So they're not always horrible. But when I said, do you know a horrible person? Oh yes, I know a horrible person. Who remembers me talking about labels? A while ago now. Labels. Is that what's happened there? Have we labelled somebody? Have we applied a label to them? We've gone, you're a horrible person. Because a few times, or just once, but probably more than once, you've displayed some of these behaviours which are unpleasant. You've been rude, you've been a bully. And that's enough. That's enough for us to say, you are a horrible person. And so, when you know that that person is going to be coming into your vicinity, or you're going to be meeting that person, or you're going to be talking to that person on the phone, what happens? You go, oh, I've got to talk to that horrible person again. I'm going to be encountered by that horrible person at some point in the future. And they're going to be horrible to me. Because they always are. Of course, the reality is, they're just a human being, the same as us, same as all of us. Albeit a human being that from time to time displays some behaviours which we find unpleasant and we have to breathe and respond to accordingly, but we're perhaps a little unjust to just outright label them horrible person. It's quite a dismissive thing to do. It's a very easy thing to do. No, don't get me wrong, it's not easy to not label people. To be open. And for when that person approaches us again, to forget the fact that yesterday they were an absolute bastard. Because in this moment, when we meet them, they might not be. They might be. They might not be. We don't know. If we're being mindful and we're in the moment, then we just accept it as it is in this moment. So yeah, we have a tendency to label, and it is a natural behaviour for us human beings. It's what our brains like to do. It likes to label things so that we feel in control. So that we feel that we're in control of what's happening within our lives. We can label everything, compartmentalise it. That's that, they're horrible, they're nice. It makes it easier for us to know what we're doing. Because whilst the concept of being mindful is great, because we can just skip through life and just be all airy-fairy. Oh, it's fine, it's cool, man, just accept whatever comes along. It's not easy. And our brains, as they have developed over time, our behaviours and the culture in which we live has not programmed us, really, to be in that way. So that's one aspect, the fact that we label these horrible people, perhaps a little unjustly. Then the other thing is that the behaviours that they display do they how much of it should we take responsibility for? Somebody says something to me, and I react to that by thinking, oh, you're being really rude to me now. Is it them? Is it them or is it me? I feel like I'm breaking up with someone. It's not you, it's me. But again, it's about how I react to it, isn't it? You know, somebody turns to me and says, Jim, you're growing your hair, you look like an absolute idiot. Get it cut. Which happens.
Up the school usually. When he walks in.
I could take offence. I could go, you're being horrible. It's my hair, I'll do what I want with it. I think it looks good. And I can, you know, and what is it then that's being prickled by their comments? My ego. It's my ego that thinks this is fantastic, which gets prickled and reacts to their words. Just because they have an opinion about my hair, they're entitled to have an opinion about my hair. They can have an opinion about anything. It's their entitlement. They're human beings, they can have an opinion. How I react to that is my responsibility. So if we are to be truly mindful, when we are confronted by these horrible people, and it's not a nice thing to think, we don't like to think that we have to take responsibility for it. You know, it's not us, it's them. No, it's you. It is us, should I say. It's not them, it's us. We can't change people. We like to think that we can change people. Oh, I'll teach them a lesson. I'll behave like this, or I won't talk to them, or I'll do this because then they'll see that they've upset me and they won't do it again. They will. They'll learn. That's how they behave sometimes in that moment. Occasionally. You can't teach people a lesson. You can't expect them to modify their behaviour. You can only take control of the way that you respond. So the next time you encounter a horrible person or somebody being horrible, for one, don't label them. It's easy to do, and it's much harder because you don't know the circumstances. You know, the chap that pulled out in front of you, you know, maybe he just got a phone call to say that his little boy's in hospital.
Absolutely.
And he's in a panic. You just don't know. Not always. He might just be an arse.
Absolutely.
But give him the benefit of the doubt.
Which is what I always try and do.
Exactly.
About 2 seconds afterwards.
But that's it. But then, you know, that's okay. That's what happens as you become more mindful. That gap between your initial reaction and then you being mindful and thinking, actually, no, let's respond to this in a mindful way, reduces. You know, to begin with, when people are not mindful at all, that gap is huge because we just label them and go, oh, he's an idiot. Then when as we become be a bit more mindful, we react and then we go, actually, hang on, no, let it go. Perhaps there is an explanation for it. Or I don't know what's going on in his life that's made him react and behave in the way that he has. And then gradually, over time, as you become more mindful and you stop labelling people and you begin to respond to what the present moment offers you and just accept it, that gap reduces and reduces until there is no gap. And you just respond. Or if there is a gap, it's the length of a breath. Because that's what it takes, isn't it? To be mindful. One breath. Be aware of the breath, be in the moment, and then you can respond. So maybe that, you know, that's, if you can get it down to a breath, then you're there. pretty much. You're almost... The Dalai Lama's there. If you can get to there, then good on you. Well done. I'm not there yet. I'm probably about there. But I'm trying. I'm getting.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen you deal with them at the school. I reckon you're about there.
Not quite. It's 2 breaths. Sometimes 3.
That's me, that way.
So, it's not easy. You know, mindfulness isn't easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And we all know that we should try and be tolerant, but we don't understand what is happening in other people's present moment. We can only go by what's in our present moment and respond to that, and try and take some responsibility for it. Because we can't eradicate the horrible people. The horrible behaviours. I labelled them again, see? But I did. I hope it starts to the deliberate mistake. I hope it was wrong. We can't eradicate. We can't, and it's not horrible behaviours, we can't eradicate behaviours which our egos will respond to. That's what it is. That's all horrible behaviours are. Things that we disagree with. Things that our ego disagrees with. You're judging me in a particular way, and that's not fair. That's your ego talking. That's what these horrible behaviours really are. Because actually, if you just accept them and go, okay, fine, they're not horrible. It just is what it is. Okay. Right. Let's do some breathing. We'll finish with some breathing. So, and I'm allowed to say that. I've earned the right to say so. Because I don't say it all the time. If you feel comfortable to close your eyes, close your eyes. Otherwise, you may keep your eyes open. It is entirely up to you. And we bring our awareness to our breath. Our breathing is the thing that, without fail, happens in the present moment. When we're confronted with that horrible behaviour that's making our ego scream, we're still breathing. When that car pulls out in front of us, makes us slam on the brakes, we're still breathing. When somebody's being judgmental, when somebody's being rude, when somebody's bullying us, we are still breathing. And so when all of that is happening, if we need, because we do need to be mindful, just bring the awareness to the breath. And you be in the moment, and then you can respond. So we start by being aware of the breath at the nostrils and following it as the breath enters the body and then leaves the body. In and out, just aware of it at that point of entry and exit as it happens in each moment. And then follow the breath back and become aware of the breath in the throat, at the back of the throat, behind the soft palate, as the air moves up and down. And if thoughts or ideas come into your mind, you become distracted, it doesn't matter. Just be aware that you've drifted. Just bring your awareness back to the breath, in and out. Now be aware of the breath at the top of the chest. And feel the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and breathe out. Now be aware of the breath down the diaphragm, the very bottom of your breathing and the bottom of the system. And again, just be aware of that movement as it flexes, as you breathe in and breathe out. Now bring your awareness to the three components of the breath. We breathe in, we breathe out, and then there is a pause between breaths. And everything is still. Everything is calm. You are doing nothing, you are thinking nothing, you are just being. Just a human being. In that pause between breaths. Now finally you can breathe in and feel alive. Be aware that you are a living, breathing being. Breathe in and feel alive. And breathe out and just smile. Just allow yourself to smile. And then in that pause between breaths, just allow that smile to just sort of melt into it, dissolve into it. So breathe in and feel alive. Breathe out and smile. And then allow the smile just melt into that pause between breaths as you feel the peace and the stillness. And the next time somebody in your present moment is displaying or offering these unpleasant behaviours, the horrible behaviours, give that a go. Breathe in and feel alive. Breathe out and smile. Smile at the ridiculousness of their actions. And then allow that smile to just melt into the pause between breaths as the response to their behaviour formulates somewhere in your unconscious mind. And you'll probably find that the labels will fall away and their horrible behaviour will also fall away. So thank you everybody for coming. Please open your eyes before you leave. Otherwise we'll be bumping into each other. And I'll see you next week.
Thanks very much.
No, thank you for coming.